Welcome to the Bright and Beautiful Webcast. I'm really happy you decided to attend. And in this one experience today, what my wish is, what I am pretty confident we're going to do and what we're going to be able to experience together is really how effective, how simple, how powerful Kundalini Yoga is. How it can work for anyone, because here's the thing. You and I, we have many things that are different about us. I don't know you necessarily yet, and I can't see you, although you can see me, but I know for sure that we have plenty of differences. But what we also have are a few things that are in common with each other, that are far more important than all of our differences combined. You want to be happy. I want to be happy. You want to be filled with love in your life. I also want to be filled with love in my life. You want to experience your own personal beauty and brightness, your radiance. I also want that same thing. And you cannot find me another single human being on this planet who also, at some deep core level, also doesn't want those same things. So although we're going to be using specific exercises within this specific system of what we call Kundalini Yoga, really the essence of what we're doing is to start to really cultivate the conditions that will produce those types of things. Genuine happiness, and not the happiness that just is so fluffy that it dissipates or it waxes and it wanes depending on the outer circumstances of our lives. So if things are going really well in my life, I'm really happy. If things are not going really well, then I'm really unhappy. That's not the type of happiness we're talking about, because one thing we already know for sure is that if things are going really well in your life right now, that at some point, somewhere around the bend, things are not going to be going so well. Children are born, grandparents pass away. We have days where we feel tremendously healthy and energetic and vital, and we have other days where we feel lower energy and not so vital. So the nature of life and the nature of energy on this planet, in this experience as human beings, is everything changes. So what we need to do, and this is the great insight of yoga, and this is really the essence of what we're developing and what we're cultivating as practitioners of yoga, is to develop something that never changes, to connect with the part of us, maybe a better way of saying it, connect with the part of ourselves that never changes. Because within the nucleus of your being, some people call it the soul. At the nucleus of whatever it is that you are, this human being, I like to not wrap words around it too tightly, because my experience is, as soon as you say it's the soul, then I also am at some level limiting what it actually is. I'm putting it in this definition, this box of S-O-U-L, soul. You may or may not believe in the soul. It's not going to matter for your experience in this class, in this bright and beautiful Kundalini Yoga experience. What I want you to consider and to be open to as we endeavor into this journey together is that there is a part of you that is deep within the nucleus of yourself that is very calm, that is intelligent, that is at its core love. I don't need you to necessarily believe it. I'd like you to just simply consider it, to be open to it. And at this point, I think that's much better than belief. Because many people blindly believe things, but the difference between a belief system and yoga practice, or at least one of the differences, I think there's probably many, is that in meditation and yoga experience, your goal is to actually experience what you would like to believe, not to just believe something because this is what somebody told us, or this is what this text says. We want to actually test it and see if we can verify it for ourselves. So that's a little bit of the essence of what we're doing, because if you can tap into the part of you that is non-changing, everything else in life is changing. We're young and then we're not young anymore. Everything in life is changing. This rug, currently right now, relatively new. 10 years from now, it's not going to be new anymore. So as long as we keep let me say it a little differently. As long as our mind maintains connectivity to the things that are always changing as a way for us to get our happiness and to get our joy, we're going to continue to be riding a roller coaster in life. As long as my mind, as long as this mind and this organism, as you'll notice very quickly working with me, I'm often going to refer to your human being, your human vehicle, as this organism, because it's not just a body. It's a mind, it's a body, it has an energy system, it has an electromagnetic field, and so on and so forth. So as long as the organism, and largely what this thing is, even the body is the terrain of your mind. As long as the organism and the psyche of the human organism is going outside of yourself in order to maintain your happiness, in order to maintain your love in your life, eventually that stimulus that is supporting your happiness. Let me give you an example of what I mean. You've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you're really into them. And as long as that stimulus is there, the boyfriend or the girlfriend, I stay happy. You stay happy. There's a certain happiness that maintains itself. But just say, for instance, that boyfriend or girlfriend takes off and is no longer your boyfriend or girlfriend anymore. Now I feel unhappy. That's what I mean by a stimulus. Now that's very basic. Of course, if you're in a love relationship and the love relationship ends, there's going to be a certain level of unhappiness. You're going to feel sad, you may feel grief, you may feel great pain. That's all very natural. That's not what I'm discussing. That's not what we're trying to remove ourselves from, because that wouldn't be realistic. If a loved one dies, then we are going to feel a great, great, profound sadness. Here's the difference. That great sadness or that great pain when one of our loved things leaves our lives, it will either cause us to become less of ourselves, more depressed, more insecure, more anxious. So if that girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with me, then I feel sadness, I feel pain. Here's the question. Does that experience, longer term, after the initial pain has moved on, has it caused me to become a stronger person, a brighter person, a deeper loving person? Or has it caused me to become a more insecure person? Has it caused me to become a more depressed person? The question isn't whether I'm going to have pain in my life, whether I'm going to have sadness in my life. The question is, will the pain and the sadness in my life have a net result of more love, of more confidence, of more vitality, of more brightness? Or will those catalysts, whether it be pain, whether it be depression, whether it be sadness, whether it be worry, do all of those, what I'm going to call right now catalysts, Do they cause me to become more of myself, a brighter, a more beautiful, a more confident human being? Or do they cause me to become less of myself, a more insecure, a more depressed, a more anxious human being? What we are doing in this practice today, and if you, I'm hoping that you'll do is continue to work with me after this class today so you can really learn this stuff on a deeper level. What we are doing is to start to cultivate the inner conditions, the inner vitality, the inner strength, and the outer glow that will help to make sure that no matter what happens in your life, whether it be a pleasurable experience or whether it'll be a painful experience, because we're going to have healthy doses of both of them. That's the law of nature. What goes up also comes down. So you're going to have plenty of pleasurable experiences in your life, and you're going to have plenty of painful experiences in your life. What we need to do as intelligent, mature human beings, emotionally mature human beings, is to cultivate the conditions for ourselves, to cultivate the inner vitality and the mental clarity so that no matter how painful our life may become at any given day, in any given month or year, that we know we're going to have the vitality that will transform that pain into deeper love, into greater awareness, into greater confidence, and ultimately into fulfillment. So that you live your life, when you wake up in the morning, you have a real sense of purpose. And then when you go to bed in the evening, you fall asleep with a real sense of fulfillment. Each day is like a microcosm of your life. You want to begin with a great sense of purpose, and you want to go to rest with a great sense of fulfillment. And that's an absolutely realistic goal for yourself. The problem is often we don't have a lot of examples in our lives of people who have cultivated and stabilized a really high level of happiness and vitality. And so in a modern day society, we don't often get to see a lot of examples of what this looks like. But I want to assure you that that's an absolute possibility for you. I'm just an everyday person. My name is Jai Dev, and I live with my family in Northern California. I grew up in South Carolina in the Southeast United States. And I came to this Kundalini Yoga essentially because I had some pretty serious health challenges as a teenager. To make a long story short, and I'll tell the longer story later on if we keep on working together, but to make the longer story short for now, it led me, among other things, to Kundalini Yoga. First yoga I ever tried, first style, and this is just one style of yoga, Kundalini Yoga, but it's a very, very powerful style. It's like a jet plane. If you're trying to get to a certain destination, there's different vehicles that you can take. You can walk, of course, you can ride a bike, you could take a motor scooter, you could take a boat maybe if there's water, you can take all sorts of different vehicles. They're all going to the same place, and that place is happiness. That place is enlightenment. That place is a sense of real, true radiance. We spend so much of our energy, so much of our money trying to create radiance from the outside in. The reality is true radiance, lasting radiance, goes from the inside out. So even when you are aging into an older person and into an elder, you go, as the great Rabbi Zalman used to say, who lived in Boulder, Colorado, you go from aging to saging. And that's what the path and the life of a yogi is all about. Because if the pursuit of beauty is going only from the outside in, only on the exterior. We're not saying don't make yourself beautiful on the exterior. You're a beautiful person. You have a beautiful being and a beautiful body, regardless of what you may think. And it's like a temple. And so, of course, you want to adorn your temple with beautiful clothes and beautiful jewelry and perhaps whatever else that you are into and you like to do to make yourself feel beautiful. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if the beauty is only and the emphasis is on the external beauty, then as we get older, that will start to fade. And if our mind is connected to that as our primary source of beauty, then also we will start to lose our sense of happiness. We'll start to be at risk because we're creating conditions that lend themselves to anxiety or depression. And so what we need to do as responsible, mature human beings is to make sure we're creating the conditions that lend themselves to deep love and great confidence, no matter what age in life that we're in, and no matter what circumstances we're having to wrestle with in our lives, whether it be really joyful circumstances or really painful circumstances. So that's how I came into all of this. I had painful circumstances. Not only was my physical body in trouble, but mentally and spiritually, I was searching. And I was blessed to find a good teacher. I was blessed to try this Kundalini Yoga. It resonated with me, and my experience of it was very much like a jet plane. It worked really quickly. It gets you lifted in one experience, which we're going to have today. It'll lift you up. You can feel amazing. And it's regardless of how I may look, it has nothing to do with it. It's very accessible. It requires really nothing other than, can you breathe? Great, you qualify. If you can do that, you qualify. Everything else you can modify. Everything else you can adjust. We're going to do some exercises. Some of them may be a little challenging. Some of them may not feel challenging at all. Charlotte is here with me, and she is part of our team, and she's also a great yogi and yoga teacher and practitioner, and she's going to demonstrate a lot of the postures. She's also very flexible, and you and I may not be that flexible, so she's going to show us like the ideal form of how this exercise is done, but she'll also show us how to modify things. You can even do the most of practices, most of the exercises, with the exception of a couple, you can do sitting in a chair today. So if you're taking this webcast just sitting in a chair, it'll actually work for the most part. There might be one or two exercises you won't be able to do in a chair, but if you are in a chair, have your feet flat on the floor, ideally with no shoes on. And even if you're sitting down, ideally you practice yoga with no shoes on, because as you're going to learn, your body's like a very subtle antenna in a certain way, that I like saying it like this. Yoga with socks on is kind of like listening to music with earplugs on. So if you can remove your socks, that's great. But that's really not going to be the most important thing that we have to deal with today. The most important thing that we have to do is see if we can make a profound adjustment in your system. And so if we can use the breath and use the body to change the inner life force condition, then we're going to be in business. Then we're going to bypass the emotional mind, and we're going to bypass the intellectual mind, and we're just going to use our breath and our body to feel really uplifted. And then no matter what, we can deal and we can interact with our life in an intelligent and in a loving way, instead of in an overly emotional or in a depressed way. And so these are very simple things, but it does take practice. So if you find some of this very difficult the first time you're doing it, it's difficult for most people the first time they're doing it, but after the second, third, fourth, fifth time, it starts to become easier and easier and easier and more natural and more natural. And there's nothing really else that you need to change in your life. It's just say, can I do a practice in the morning, ideally? It also could be in the evening. Can I spend 10 to 15 minutes doing something that will make a adjustment and a calibration in my system that will lift my life force energy, that will make my mind clear, that will make my body feel good with vitality, and therefore I can go about my life in a way that is going to be conducive for living happily, living joyfully, living prosperously, and feeling myself as a beautiful person, regardless of what my mind might be saying or other people's minds might be saying about me. That's the type of confidence we need to develop. So, if you're ready, I'm very much ready, and we're going to start. I'm going to be using music during this. It's beautiful and it's fun. I always recommend that when doing these webcasts, if you have good speakers or good headphones or something, that's ideal, but no big deal. there's an ideal and then there's the real. So for instance, in these postures and these exercises we're going to be doing, there's the ideal. Charlotte pretty much is always able to get into that ideal, me not as much. And then there's the real, and you need to do the real. And if your real happens to be like closer or like Charlotte, well, beautiful. But if your real is closer to me or somebody else, or it's whatever is for your body, then that's great too. And so just do the real and modify, because I'll tell you this for sure. How well you do the exercises is not the most important thing in terms of the posture. How open your heart is and your mind is, and how much you put into it in terms of your soulfulness, in terms of your sense of effort, in terms of your willingness to participate with an open heart and an open mind. That's going to be much more important and bigger than how flexible you are and how well you can do the specific techniques of the exercises. So I hope that resonates with you. Again, I'm so happy you're here. We're going to tune in right now. This is how we begin every Kundalini Yoga experience. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time unpacking every little piece today. I'm hoping you'll go into our Bright and Beautiful course where we really unpack everything step by step, nuance by nuance. But for today, my main goal for you is to have an experience of a lifted energy, of a beautiful meditative mind, and then we'll go from there. So to begin, please bring your hands into what we call prayer pose. So make a little warmth in your hands, rub the palms together. Think of it almost like electricity, and you're creating an electrical circuit. It's called prayer pose because the two palms come together and the knuckles of your thumbs into your sternum and your chest lifts up and out. The chin is slightly tucked in and the eyes are closed. It's a prayer pose because the mind enters into a space of prayerfulness when the negative and the positive mind are neutralized, when the left and the right hemisphere of the brain are coordinated, and when the glands secrete, your mind naturally starts to enter into a subtle frequency, which is what in the yogic mind we understand as a prayerfulness, where your mind connects with a much bigger mastermind. And so the two palms together help to facilitate, help to encourage that physiological and life force and psychological condition. Now first, deep inhale. Through the nose, inhale. And through the nose, exhale. And please do that again. Your deepest through the nose, inhale. And deep exhale. And a few more of these, inhaling deep. And fully exhale. Inhaling deep. And fully exhale. Inhaling deep. And fully exhale. Now, keep the posture, keep your eyes closed, and then see if you can do this. Relax your breath completely. Don't make the breath deeper, and don't make the breath shallow. Don't do anything in particular. With your eyes closed and the palms pressed together, the chest lifted out, the chin ever so slightly in. See if you can, with your mind, watch your breath. Watch the flow of your breath without interfering with it. And see if you can gain an experience of just witnessing your body breathing for just a moment. Just about 25 to 30 seconds. Be perfectly still without fidgeting or budging. And just witness your body respirating, breathing. Amazing. Now deep inhale again. And complete exhale. Always through the nose unless we say otherwise. Always breathing through the nose unless we'll specifically mention otherwise. Deep inhale. Now, suspend the breath in for a moment. Keep the breath in. Try to relax your upper body while the breath stays in with the eyes closed, and be still. Mentally still, physically still. Now exhale. Beautiful. And again, inhale deeply. Suspending the breath in. Try to relax your shoulder blades down your back. Keep your chest out and keep your mind calm. Even if you have to fake the mind being calm, fake the mind being calm. Exhale completely. One more time, please. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. And exhale, hold the posture. And once again, now let the body breathe. Just naturally and organically. And in just a moment, we're going to tune in. This is how we begin every Kundalini yoga practice. Very powerful way of resonating the body with the sound. To start to powerfully move your life force up from the lower parts of the psyche into the higher frequency of the mind and the psyche. And vibrating your pituitary and pineal gland. It uses these seed sounds that vibrate different areas of the energetic system in the body. Ong, O-N-G, will vibrate your frontal lobe, third eye point. Namo resonates Na-mo from the heart center, center of your chest, center of love and compassion. Guru Dev lifts and brightens the energy. Guru Dev Namo. I'll explain more of this in the full course, but for today we're just going to do it. Do your best to join in if you'd like, or just meditate and listen. But we're using this to start to tune in to begin the exercises. Inhale deep. Exhale. Beautiful. Okay, now we're ready. It's a very important part to really take your energy from whatever it's been doing with the energy going outward, dealing with life. Now we're drawing it inward because you're telling yourself, you're telling your deep inner parts of yourself, okay, now we're shifting, we're paying attention to this. We're now going to start to move our energy internally. We're going to start to enter into the meditative mind. Using these mantric, in the mantric languages such as Sanskrit or Gurmukhi or Hebrew or most of all the indigenous languages, probably all of them, I don't know all of them, but the mantric languages, what they mean comes from what they do. So the sound Ong vibrates the frontal lobe, stimulates the pituitary gland, the third eye. That increases your intuitive sense. Namo opens your heart center, it increases love. Om Namo Gurudev Namo, based on what it does, what it means is I make myself a vehicle or an instrument for divine intelligence, divine love, and I recognize that the divine energy in me, the infinite energy in me, is the same as the infinite energy in you. We all come from the same thing. We all are part of the same thing. That's what it's tuning into, not only just philosophically, but also energetically by vibrating the sound. So that's what that's all about. We'll learn more about it later. Okay, now we're going to start our first exercises. So what I want you to do is please come onto your hands and knees. This is one of the ones that won't work in a chair. And this is very simple. It's called cat and cow. You're going to inhale, the head is coming up. Exhale, the head is coming down. And like I mentioned already, the breath is always through the nose, except sometimes we'll say specifically through the mouth for certain exercises. But otherwise, it's always through the nose. Your eyes are closed. Again, that's always the case unless we specify otherwise. So eyes are closed, and if you can, rolling the eyes up and in to the third eye point. That's where the two eyebrows would meet, where the root of the nose meets the skull bone. By concentrating your attention into the third eye, into your pituitary point, it causes your pituitary to secrete into the blood. That will give power to your brain, that will help you concentrate, and that will help you make an internal, powerful shift. Now, most importantly, breathe deeply. You can go slower, you can go a little quicker, go whatever pace that you feel is appropriate for your body. What you want to do more than anything is there's no pause in between the two positions. It's a nice, fluid, rhythmic movement. Beautiful, and keep going. Another 60 seconds to go. Your posture, I'm sure, is perfect by now, just perfect for you today. So what I'd like you to do for about the last 50 seconds is to listen to the sound of your breathing and try to lift yourself, lift your energy, lift your mind, purify inside, brighten your outside with your deep breathing. Keep going. Very good. Inhale, head is up. Now draw your attention where the two eyebrows would meet, where the root of the nose meets the skull bone. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Just put your attention there and be still. Perfect. Now exhale, the head is down. Head is down, spine arches up. Now pull your navel point in towards your spine. And if you can contract what we call the root lock, that's rectum area, sex organ area, perineum, up and in. And relax. And for a moment, relax the forehead down to the floor. Relax the butt back to the heels. The palms come together. The jaw relaxes. The mind, consciously relaxing the mind. Consciously relaxing the upper body. Every posture has an effect on your psyche. So just to even put yourself into this position where the forehead meets the earth, it is conducive for a space of humility and for a space of receptivity and a space of relaxation. It makes the organism say there's something going on here on this life that's far bigger than my comprehension. So I'm humble enough to recognize that and then to become a servant of the love energy that flows through all of life. We bypass the thinking mind and we make ourselves a good vehicle. That's the life of the yogi, of the practitioner. So that when we communicate to one another, we can do so through a heart. When we talk to our children or our husband or our wife, our mom or our dad, we can do so out of a place of love. Even if it's something that we have to like correct our son or correct our daughter or to discipline, we can do so through a space of love and intelligence, because we understand that there's something deeper that is going on here. And if you maintain your connectivity to that, your life will flow so beautifully. When you lose your connectivity to that, life can easily become jaded, very distorted, and very, very, very challenging. So please come sitting up on your heels. And we're going to sit on the heels. And if this is uncomfortable, Charlotte can show you how to modify this position. So you use a blanket, you can fold it up and put it in between your butt and your heels. That's one way to do it. And that makes it easier. Another thing you can use, if it's still, this is too uncomfortable for your body. Many people have injuries. And by the way, if you have an injury, never aggravate an injury with a yoga posture. In that case, modify it. Yep, like that. And you could even put it in between the legs too. And that is another way. You can take a bolster or some sort of cushion, and you can get these bolsters at any yoga place, or I'm sure on Amazon, yoga bolster. And you sit on it like that, hey, and now it's more comfortable. But never aggravate an injury because of a yoga posture. Always modify something you're doing if you have an existing injury, okay? Because I'm not going to teach, I don't know about your existing injury, so I'm teaching to everyone. So if you have an existing injury, you need to be responsible for that and modify and make sure that if you have any sense that this exercise or any exercise might aggravate my injury, I'm just going to sit this one out. But when you do have to disengage an exercise, what I encourage you to try not to do is to disengage the vibe and to disengage the whole experience, and instead keep doing whatever the breath we're doing, or at very least breathe long and deep with your eyes closed and meditate. That's as simple as eyes closed, put your gaze up and in as best as you can, breathe long, slow and deep, and then watch and listen to your breath. You'll find it's difficult to do, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, and even more importantly than that, the more calm and relaxed you become as a person. So this is called spinal flexors. And it's very simple. Hands are on the lap, and what's going to happen is you're going to lift through your chest, and your exhale back. Sit bones push down, lift through your chest, exhale back, and it'll be as simple like that, like Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat. The breath is through the nose. It's a powerful breath. It's a deep and strong breath, but it's not very long breath. If this pace is too quick for you, you can do it slower. Deep, powerful breathing through the nose, third eye gaze. Nah, in, out, in, out, in, out. Deep, powerful breathing. Another 30 seconds, breathe with full strength, keep up. Beautiful job. Now deeply inhale, eyes closed, straighten the spine, chest out, heart wide open. Draw your attention to the pituitary space, third eye. Lift the rectum and sex organ up and in. Be very still. Now exhale completely. And again, inhale deeply, chest out, elevate the gaze. Be as still as possible. Rectum, sex organ, and navel contract up and in, and be absolutely still. Exhale. Amazing. If this is your first time doing it, come sitting again. Easy pose. It's called easy pose. Some people don't find it easy though. If this is your first time doing these, it's gonna be like, wow, what was that? You might have to do this class a couple times to get a handle around it. But just roll with us, you know? Don't worry about if you're doing everything right. Today, just go for an experience. Use your breath. Breathe deeply, breathe powerfully, do your best to gaze. Now, here's what I would like to tell everyone the first time around. And then I remind folks all the time. The most important part of any of these exercises is that final moment. So in that case, we were doing spinal flexes. And then at the very end, what did we do? I said, inhale deep and suspend. So now, even if you were not concentrating the whole time, or you felt distracted or irritated or aggravated, that's normal, by the way. At that last moment, when I say inhale deep and suspend your breath, at that moment, do your best to be completely still. Just do your best. You may not be able to, but do your best. You draw your gaze up into the third eye space, you suspend the breath, and you lift that root lock. Rectum, sex organ, that's the perineum area, lifts up, and be still. Because as long as your energy in your body, the life force, what the Chinese call the qi, what you get adjusted if you go to get acupuncture, for instance. If that qi, or that prana, as it's known in yoga, or what we typically translate as life force, remains overly, excessively constricted in the lower part of your body, that's the conditions that lend themselves to heaviness or depression or anxiousness and insecurity, chronic passive-aggressive anger behaviors, etc. Jealousy, envy, all the things that cause us to live kind of miserably. Now, if you can lift that life force up into the higher centers of the psyche, up into your higher glands, so it nurtures the pituitary, pineal glands, then that starts to draw and cultivate the conditions that will lend themselves to, instead of depression, you get sweetness. Instead of anxiousness, you get much more enthusiasm and even a type of prayerfulness. It doesn't mean like you're praying in a literal sense, but it means instead of anxiousness, you have a connectivity to the bigger energy that is underlying all of life, and you feel and you have trust in life. That's the antidote to the chronic anxiousness. The chronic anger can become great energy and passion. The same thing that creates anger creates passion, which gives you a sense of purpose. So all of that energy that creates depression, anger, and anxiety, that's potential energy that can give you great trust, prayerfulness, enthusiasm, angelic-like presence, passion, epiphany, wisdom, and love, devotion, and sweetness. It's the same energy. It's the lower frequency version and the higher frequency version. And what we're doing is using these powerful transporting exercises so that you can get more of the higher frequency expression of those energies and be less dominated by their lower frequencies. Sound good? Next exercise. Hands like this. Fingers are in front, the thumbs are in the back. Revolution, you're going to inhale to the left and you're going to exhale to the right, like that. Again, the eyes are closed, the breath is powerful. Posture is important, more important is the breath. It opens up the spine and the spinal channels. It unlocks the life force. Keep going another 25 seconds. 5 seconds, deep breath. Inhale to the center, the most important moment. Now inhale deep. Suspend the breath in, lift rectum, sex organ. Now lift your gaze where the two eyebrows would meet and be perfectly still. Draw the energy upward with your mind. Exhale. It's beautiful, yeah? Simple. So let's try the spinal flexes again one more time. And this time sitting in easy pose and using your cushion or your blanket, whatever you may have, to lift you and support you up, or if you're in a chair, feet flat on the floor again. And again, you're going to inhale, lifting through the chest. You feel like your sit bones are pushing into the earth or your cushion while the heart is lifting forward. Chin is slightly in, so it's like your sternum's lifting towards your tucked chin. Your eyes go into the third eye, like that. Now, this gives you, you know what? The more flexible your spine remains, the more youthful and young you will remain and feel. So if you keep a young spine, you'll keep a young everything, young mind, young body. So that's why many people who start Kundalini Yoga later in their life end up feeling like they're becoming younger and younger and younger as their spine starts to get more and more relaxed and more limber. And then all of a sudden the spinal fluid starts to move, it starts to feed and nurture your brain. All of a sudden your mind is sharper and clearer again. And so it's a beautiful thing. So what you're going to do is this simple, like, and keep going. Sit, nam, sit, nam. Now imagine that the sound of your breath is chanting. Listen to the sound of your breath. The breath is the most important part of the exercise. By now, whatever your posture looks like, do it just like that. No need to keep tweaking it. Now listen to your breathing. Now imagine is chanting the mantra like this. Sit, nam, sit, nam. Sit is truth, nam, nam, sit. Nam is what you are, your deep, deep identity. At the nucleus of you is the ultimate truth. Nam. But more important than any of that, it locks your mind onto the breath. Otherwise, the mind tends to be distracted. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit. Now, sit. Inhale now deep. Be perfectly still. Rectum, sex organ, navel. Up and in. Lift the gaze, up and in. Heart wide open. Mind very still. Body very still. Exhale. My friends, you start to do these things consistently, a little bit every day, you start to experience profound changes. You start to have a great magnetism about you. The more the life force circulates and nurtures the higher glands, which is the higher chakras, the more your magnetic field is going to be strong and expansive, more prosperous you start to become, the greater the vitality of your body and your mind. So when you are under great stress, you still have the center energy that allows you to handle anything that comes your way with gracefulness. And therefore you can turn stress into vitality. And that's the difference, you know. Is stress causing you more fatigue and making you less of who you are? Or is stress causing you more vitality? Because it makes you stronger, because you have that core energy strength that you've developed and cultivated, so no matter what happens, you're good. It's just going to make you fall deeper in love. And as my teacher used to say, when you fall in love, it's an infinite fall. And that's the love affair with your own, what you are and what this life is. And when you really have the deep, deep experience of yourself, you will very much and very organically fall in love with yourself. And not until you truly and truly fall in love with what you are and find yourself beautiful when you look in the mirror and what you see coming back at you, no matter what age, no matter what's going on, you feel attracted to what you are. then you can really love somebody else. Because when your love is overflowing, you have plenty to share. You have an infinite reservoir to share with everything and everyone else. Your life becomes the flow of love, the flow of compassion. That's the real reason we're doing Bright and Beautiful, whether we realized it at first or not. Hands are on your knees, please. One more of these, then we're going to get into some couple really cool exercises, and then an incredible meditation, and then we'll be on our way. Wow. Okay, so last part of this, you're going to take your hands on your knees. I'm looking for what kind of music I want to play. And you're going to inhale, the shoulders are up, and you're going to exhale, the shoulders release down like that. So it's an inhale up, and it's an exhale down like that. So go ahead and continue. Any pace you wish. Now every exhale, shoulder blades release down the back. Every exhale, you release the tension, the stress, upper back, neck, shoulders. Now inhale, squeeze up tight. And exhale, release. Beautiful. And just be still for a moment. Relaxed in the posture, eyes closed. Let the body just breathe naturally. Now you're going to stretch your legs out wide. And you're going to flex your feet. And you're going to move at a very moderate pace, okay? And you're going to inhale to the center and turn to your left and exhale down. And then inhale, strengthen that leg to lift up, and then exhale the other side. You use the strength of your leg to lift up on the inhale. You turn to the left, exhale down. Inhale, fill your lungs. Don't forget your breathing. Exhale down. And then continue at a smooth, moderate to slow pace. The idea is not to touch your toes. If you can't get to your toes without collapsing your chest, then just hinge forward from your... Charlotte, show what it looks like if you couldn't touch your toes. Just like you just kind of move. She can't even imagine what that's like. So, but there's lots of us that can't. So you're just going to pivot to where, but see how she keeps her chest lifted. But so I'm not collapsing. Show what it looks like if I had to collapse my heart to touch my toes, right? Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's like that kind of thing. Yeah? Don't do that. Try to keep your heart lifted. We're trying to get energy up, okay? Continue, please. Now inhale to the center and relax. Shake your legs out a little bit. Beautiful. Now you come back to sitting easy pose. And here we go. We're going to do a couple of breath exercises, which are called pranayama. Now in the first module of the full Bright and Beautiful course, you spend a whole module on mastering or beginning to learn how to begin the path of mastery of breathing, breath exercises. Because the more control you have over your breath, the more control you have over your prana, which means the more control you have over your mind. Most people have very little to no control over their mind, and so when their mind becomes agitated, they become agitated. There's no difference between their mind and them. And that's very difficult. That's a very difficult place to live. And so the more you start to meditate, the more you'll realize, I'm not my mind at all, that the mind is a tool that I'm utilizing while in a human experience. So when you start to use your breath, it can quickly bring you into the meditative state, and I want to teach you how to do that. I want to be your guide. For today's class, we're going to do a couple very powerful ones, and in the full course, I'll start to break it down, unpack it, and teach you what you can be doing each and every day. So what you're going to take is this very simple seal, wisdom seal. It's called a mudra, index finger to your thumb, palms facing up. And now this is going to be what we call breath of fire, and it's very simple. It's through your nose, and it's like a... It's important your chest is lifted. Just try it for a moment. It's an equal breath out and in through the nose. Takes practice though, doesn't it? All right, now here's a little trick on how to do it. And so this is a little way to very quickly learn how to do it for our time here, for our short-term purposes. Well, I want you to stick your tongue out like you're a dog panting, like a... This itself is a great breath. Cleans out your respiratory system, stimulates your immune system. Now keep panting like that, but now close your mouth, do it through the nose. Now keep going, breath of fire. Do your best, just for a little bit more. Okay, inhale. That was okay. I can sense that some of us are struggling. We'll try it again. Exhale. Now let's just try to relax into it. Doesn't need to be super deep. Try to do it in a relaxed way. Again, if it's hard today, just keep practicing. It takes practice. Within a few days of trying this, you'll really have a handle on it. Inhale deep. Now make it a little powerful. Try to breathe like powerfully, like you're trying to get yourself high with your breath. Chest out, chin slightly in, keep going. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Now be perfectly still again. Exhale. All right? Simple, yeah? But not necessarily easy, but it is simple. And like anything else, if you went to the gym today and you've never been to the gym before, like me, I never go to the gym. I've been thinking about it, but I always say that. And I would be awkward and clumsy, I'm sure, with a lot of the stuff that we do at the gym to work out. It's the same thing here. It's like if you're awkward and clumsy with it the first time, it's because if you're doing it the first time, trust me, you'll very much be able to get a handle on these. I introduced this Bright and Beautiful course to my sister and brother-in-law who hadn't ever done anything like this before. And they say, wow, that was intense, you know, and these were, they were doing just some of the first exercises. So really reminded me as I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'll do my best to help you along, but just so you know, what seems intense or difficult at first, with just a little bit of regular practice, if you jump into it and you start to work with us, it'll be something that you have no problem with at all after a little bit of time. And furthermore, it'll start to work. It'll start to work amazingly for you. And then the thing that mostly people have a problem with is not the exercises, but is with all things that are good for us that we want to do consistently. It's hard to do it consistently, and that's why we want to work with you and give you this opportunity to do it consistently and generate a little bit of a practice. You spend as little as 10 to 15 minutes, could be more, that you do on a regular basis that keeps your energy strong, keeps your mind clear, because if you have good energy and a clear mind, life tends to work. If the energy is low and the mind is dull, life tends not to work so much unless we get very lucky for a period of time. Okay? Nobody's lucky eternally. That's just how it is. So here we go. We're going to do this incredible little meditation. This first one's just a couple minutes, and then we're going to move into the main meditation of this webcast. And this is what these are all just really essentially warm-up exercises to get us started. They're powerful, of course, in and of themselves, but these next two are what we call kriyas. They're meditation exercises that will really have a powerful transformative effect on you. At any time during this next exercise, you need to relax. It feels too overwhelming, just relax. You're welcome to lay down, of course, anything you wish. But if you can stay in the vibe, keep meditating, let the breath flow, enjoy the experience, okay? So here we go. We're going to do this. It's just going to take a couple minutes, and it's called Prandhara Kriya, build the power of your excellence. Your hands are like this, your right hand into your left, and the thumb tips touching like that. Your heart should be wide open, and in this case, your eyes are open. As good as it may feel to close your eyes, in this case, your eyes are going to be open, okay? And so I'm going to put on this music, and we're going to go into it. And what you're going to do is make an O-shaped puckered mouth and go. Take as much breath in about 1 second's time as you can through your mouth, and then through the nose using your diaphragm, you push it out like this. You might need a tissue, yeah? It's because you push the breath out so powerfully, all right? Here we go. So it's going to be like this. Eyes are open. Pick a single point to meditatively gaze at on the floor or the wall in front of you, or on the computer screen even. About a 1 second inhale and about a 1 second powerful exhale. Keep up. ...15 seconds. Now through the mouth, inhale deep. Now you can close your eyes and be perfectly still. Just sit in perfect stillness. Exhale and deeply inhale through the mouth. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. And the last time, full presence. Full concentration, inhale deep. Now suspend the breath in and be completely still, physically, energetically, mentally. Exhale. Now raise your arms up and shake the arms. And shake the arms vigorously so the whole spine moves. So it's as you're distributing all the energy you just created to every cell of your body, every limb of your body. Good, another 15 seconds, powerfully, vigorously shake. Keep the hands over the head. Shake, 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 shake. And inhale deeply and relax. Beautifully done. Stretch your legs out if you'd like. Have a sip of water, because here we go with the grand finale of this experience. Really everything is now leading up to this. By now the energy's moving. It's freed up a little bit more than it was, isn't it? And now you say, yes, this is how it feels. Like, this is what I'm about. You know, that's really what I love. That's the essential, what I call like magic trick of that happens in a Kundalini yoga experience, is that I might have come into this, you may have begun this with all sorts of adversity or challenges, stress, problems in your life. And then you come out, and by the time you're done, that those problems, those stresses, they have lost their charge. You shrink them, so to speak. They're much smaller. They at least seem much smaller. Why? Because you became much bigger. Your energy is stronger. Your lens is widened. Your mind is more clear. So it's not that we've changed anything on the outside of us, but we've changed the scope of our perspective by changing the internal energy field and thus the external magnetic field. That's why you become bright and beautiful, because it increases the field of radiance and magnetism around you. You don't believe that's a real thing? Keep trying it and then tell me it's not a real thing. It'll be your experience. See, the whole thing here is don't believe anything. Is just, we have the sense that this is what it's like. I'm open to it. Now I'm going to work to verify it through my experience, but that comes via my receptivity and via my hypothesis, and now I'm going to try it. And now I'm going to see if what he says is the real thing. And if not, fine. But if it is, that's a wonderful, beautiful thing. So here we go with our final meditation. Okay, so this meditation is very simple. In every Kundalini yoga class or a full Kundalini yoga practice, what you're going to have is a good exercise set and a meditation. And this is your meditation, to have a complete practice. And when we're working to develop a consistent practice, because as you can perhaps start to experience, even one Kundalini yoga practice can give you a big experience. But the most powerful and the most profound effects of it happen when you start to do it at least semi-regularly. And we encourage you to try to get it in every day. Then you start to get a real powerful momentum. So this is one of many meditations in Kundalini Yoga. There's many exercises, there's many meditations, but you don't need them all, you only need a good few. And the deeper you want to dive into the practice and into all the different exercises and meditations is up to you. But simplistically, you only need a handful. And now, what I want to show you how to do is how do you really design a good practice for yourself that's perfect for you. And that's what we'll do in the Bright and Beautiful course. For now, I want you to experience the power of one single meditation. And this is called the Meditation for a Calm Heart. And in fact, we'll do it again in the full course. But for now, you're going to take your left hand to your heart center of your chest. And your right hand is in a wisdom mudra, wisdom position. That's the index finger seals to your thumb. The other 3 fingers are straight up. The right arm is relaxed, and the height of the hand is about ear level. Now you're going to either close your eyes all the way or have your eyes just like 1/10 open. Either way is fine. Whatever feels the best to you, whatever gets you into the space the best. Your eyes are going to be closed. Now what you're going to do is you're going to inhale deeply. And then you're going to suspend your breath. Hold the posture still. And suspending the breath means you keep the breath in, yet you relax your whole upper body. So the breath is in, but you're not gripping it tight. You're keeping it in, but relaxing the upper body. And then when you need to exhale, you exhale completely out. Exhale smoothly, gradually, and completely. And then when the breath is completely out, then you suspend the breath out for as long as possible. I say as long as possible, but not to the point that you're gasping. Just to where it pressures it a little bit, then you're going to smoothly inhale again in. Suspending the breath in, keeping the upper body relaxed, the mind meditative as best as possible. And when you need to exhale, exhale the breath completely out, holding the posture, and suspend the breath out for a few moments, not to the point that you're gasping. Then you smoothly inhale again, and that's how the meditation works. Continue focusing on the breathing process. Very still. The more still you can hold the body, the more it will create a magnetic field. The more the life force will start to flow and open up the subtle channels of the body and unlock the heightened spaces of consciousness. Be perfectly still, chest out, chin ever so slightly tucked in, eyes closed or just barely open, inhaling, suspending the breath in while you sit in stillness, conscious peace. And then you exhale completely out. You lock the breath out for a few moments and you continue. beautiful. Keep up. Continue. The soothing breath in this meditation relieves anxiety, promotes calmness in your mind and your body. The left palm is placed at the home of life force at the heart center and creates a deep stillness at that point. The right hand is placed in a receptive position of peace. The posture induces the feeling of calmness. Emotionally, this meditation adds clear perception to your relationships with yourself and with others. If you're upset at home or at work or in a personal relationship, sit in this meditation anywhere from 3 to 15 minutes before deciding how to act. And then when you act with your full heart. Physically, it strengthens your lungs and your heart muscle. It's perfect for beginners. It opens the awareness of breath, the conditions of your lungs. "90 seconds to go." Hold the posture perfectly and inhale deeply. Completely exhale. Inhale deeply. Now suspend the breath in, gaze your third eye point where the two eyebrows would meet, and be perfectly still. Do not fidget or budge. Lock in, be completely still. Exhale completely. Hold the posture. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Hold the posture. Exhale completely. Deeply inhale. Suspend the breath. Now draw your gaze up into the third eye. Where your attention goes, the life force flows. Be completely still. And exhale, relax. Meditate here for just a few moments. Notice the effects of the exercises in the meditation. Pay attention to the sensations of your body and your mind. Beautiful. One of the things when doing these meditations is, when doing any of the exercise really, is that at first sometimes what you can experience is they're difficult, but also is that you can feel more distracted when you, or the sensation is you sometimes feel more distracted when you start the meditation or you do an exercise. Because one of the things that Kundalini Yoga powerfully does, it cleans out your mind. And anytime we're saying when you're cleaning out or purifying the mind, what we're talking about is purifying the subconscious mind. Because at the center of the being, at the nucleus of what you are, is pure intelligence, is pure love, is that deep knowing that you have inside of yourself. You have that deep down, where at some deep level you may not have much access, or you may seemingly have no access. Although you do have some, you may not be able to feel it. That I have access to the part of myself that's pure love, is pure beauty. It's like, I know what I'm about. I know that I'm a beautiful being, person, woman, man, whatever the case may be. At the center of yourself is that pureness, that love, that beauty, that radiance, that intelligence. In between my current awareness, my current experience of myself, and that pure love energy is the subconscious mind. Is the subconscious mind. And so what we mean by purifying the mind is essentially purifying the subconscious, because all your life you've had all sorts of conditions in childhood and relationships and all the things we're not even aware of that is coming into our perception at some very subtle or not subtle level is being built up in the subconscious. And so if you're not doing something on a regular basis to clear out the subconscious, which is essentially like the garbage bin of the mind. If you think of it like a computer, which the body-mind system is very much like a computer. If you don't empty the trash, your processing speed slows down and your ability to operate efficiently slows down. And what that means in human terms is your ability to stay happy, your ability to stay clear, your ability to stay vital with good energy, so your organs have good energy, and so the whole system. If you bring yourself into that state of stillness, and perhaps you just got there just now, a relative stillness, and that starts getting deeper and deeper and deeper the more you do it, to where it becomes very, very blissful. And bring yourself into that space. They call it shunya in yoga, which means zero, like a 0 point. It recalibrates the whole body-mind system. The organs, the mind, everything's recalibrated, start to run a little more efficiently. The more you do that, the healthier you'll feel, the clearer your mind will be. If you have good energy in the body and good clarity in the mind, my friends, all good things come from that. So if you're a religious person, it's beautiful. It will actually serve your spirituality in that way. If you're not a religious person, beautiful. It doesn't have anything to do with that. All it has to do with is, can you be a happy human being that's filled with love energy? And love energy is real. We know that for sure. If you have a son or a daughter, or a lover, or a mom or a dad that you have love with, this is undeniable. And that's what we're into. We're into things that are undeniable. And love, my friends, is undeniable. And but what we're most interested in this context is the unadulterated love that doesn't change. You know, if then my wife is unhappy with me, you don't have the love anymore, that's not love. Love is the thing that is not able to be penetrated by the waxing and the waning of the human emotions. And so we want to fill ourselves up with that. And that it is very much like a courtship. So when you're in these meditations and it stimulates your subconscious, as soon as you start to and do the exercises, move the prana in the body, stimulate the pituitary and the higher glands, it starts to clear the subconscious. The subconscious will start releasing thoughts. So sometimes when you're in the middle of the meditation, it's completely normal and completely common and very natural, in fact, beneficial, that sometimes you're going to feel agitated. Sometimes you're going to feel very distracted or angry, or sometimes you'll feel blissful and amazing, and anything in between. And all of that is appropriate, and whether I feel blissful in the meditation or aggravated in the meditation, really neither one of those is better than the other. Because when you're cleaning the house, when you're in the process of cleaning, it doesn't necessarily feel good. When you lift up the rug and there's all that dirt under there and dust under there, it's like, gosh, and you start cleaning your house and you're doing a deep clean, and when you're in the middle of that, the house is a total mess, it's dirty, it doesn't feel good to be in. But once you finish and once the house is clean, it's like, it's so nice in here, I want to hang out here all day, I don't even need to go anywhere, it feels great, the energy's cleared. That's what a Kriya is like. When you're in the midst of the Kriya, sometimes you don't feel amazing. I always ask people, just wait till the end of it, after you inhale deep and relax. All right, now how do you feel? You feel a little better. But then on a bigger scale, that starts to happen more and more. You become brighter and brighter, and you feel lighter and lighter. You feel happier and happier. And that's what Bright and Beautiful is all about. That's what the Kundalini Yoga's experience is all about. And so I teach this stuff all over the world constantly. We have so much that we do, and we have so many courses, but we wanted to create the perfect course for beginners that we thought teaches people Kundalini Yoga not only for beginners, although it's primarily designed for beginners, but also not in a way that's cheesy or oversimplified, and lacks depth, because I think people actually want depth right from the get-go. Because I think it's the depth of the practice, and including the philosophy, the understanding, the art and the science of the practice. Why is it that I'm doing this? If you don't know the why, and you don't have connection to like, what is the biggest reasons that I'm doing this, I'm not going to continue to do it. I'm not going to have enough motivation. Will it make the body beautiful? Yes. Will it tone your body? Yes. Today's class as a webcast, we did mostly exercises where you're sitting. In the full course, you're going to do more dynamic exercises where you're going to really move and work the body some. And then, so it's a 4-module course, and it's designed for you to take over a period of 4 weeks. 1 module per week, but you can go quicker if you wish. But it takes you step by step, and it unpacks the science, and in each module it's going to give you a complete practice within that module. So not only are you going to learn about the practice, but you're going to get high while doing so. And so this course, I think, is a very, very beautiful, powerful course that is really amazing, awesome for beginners. But also, we've had many yoga teachers who have taken the course, Kundalini yoga teachers who have taken the course, who said they got a ton out of it. And I think that's because we kept the depth intact. You're really going to get juicy stuff in this course, not just the beginner's approach to the exercises, but really understand in a deep way. Because my experiences working with people all over the planet is people are sophisticated. They want sophistication. They resonate with it. And sophistication doesn't mean it's complicated. Sophistication, in my experience, is when you take something that is profound and you make it very accessible and simple. That's sophistication, and I think that's what this course is. It takes something very powerful and very profound and makes it very simple and accessible for you. It's designed for anyone. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, if you're a religious person or not a religious person. It doesn't really have much to do with that. It does have to do with the spiritual force inside of you, though, and everybody has that. And that spiritual force we can name very simply L-O-V-E, and unlocking that inside of you. Because all the great spiritual traditions are designed to unlock the force of love in a human being at their essence. Of course, they get distorted and manipulated over time. So that's why we're into just the practical experience of how do you use your body, use your breath to purify the mind, to unlock the life force inside of you, and to have an experience of what you really are. So you feel attracted to yourself first and foremost. And that experience of feeling attracted to yourself is indicative of your own radiance starting to shine and emerge. And if, as we're getting older, we're not disappointed in our aging. We're human beings naturally, we love to stay young, but also we appreciate the wisdom years and developing wisdom and cultivating wisdom and being a true wisdom keeper, elder on this planet, which is what we need right now. We don't need more and more adults that are trying to look young in a superficial way. What we need, what people of my generation need, is we need wisdom-keeping elders who are able to teach our grandchildren, their grandchildren, our children, and so forth. We have to reestablish spiritual culture on the planet because it's getting sucked dry. So these not only are teachings and exercises that are going to make you feel healthy and happy, but it's also about the deeper aspects of life that are crucially important, not only to our personal happiness, but the ability for the next generations to be born and to grow up in a society and on a planet where the most important things in life are the things that are thriving, and that's love, and that's intelligence, and that's beauty, and real beauty is born of loving beings, loving people. So it's a 4-module course. Like I said, once you finish one, you can move to the next, but it's really designed to be metabolized over about a 4-week period. And in each module, you're going to have a full a teaching where I'm going to really unpack the art and the science for you so you understand on a deeper level what you're doing. And then you have what's called the essentials, the module essentials, the bright and beautiful essentials. In each module there's essentials like, all right, why is that dude wearing white? What's up with the beard? Do I have to have a beard? Spoiler alert, no, you don't. Do I have to wear white? Another spoiler, no, you don't. Do you need to have this head thing? No, absolutely you don't. I'll tell you more about that later, why I do it, but absolutely you look like anything, wear anything you want, whatever's comfortable for you. Has nothing to do with that, really. But I'll tell you why. There are folks like myself who take the deep dive in that type of stuff. But the other essentials are, all right, how do you really do long, deep breathing? When I'm doing Breath of Fire, how does that work? Because what you also have in each module of the course is a full practice where we're going to be doing these exercises like you did today, but even more, deeper. And you're going to have a full exercise set and meditation in each one of the 4 modules. So why we have the essentials is because when you get into that practice, I don't want you to be up in your head too much, like trying to figure out everything. The essentials are to unpack, okay, how do you do that exercise? How do you do the Breath of Fire properly? Specific, short little micro videos, a couple minutes a piece, that tell you about that. What do I need at my house to practice? What's up with the cushions and the blankets and the props and the straps, and how do I use all that stuff? It walks you through all of that. What's up with the mantra stuff? So all the modules break it down and go through all of it. The first module really focuses on how to do the breathing stuff. Second module gets into more of the body and the postures and so forth. The third and the fourth modules, now you're starting to do chanting. And what is up with mantra? And what's the deal with that? Well, mantra means, man is mind, and tarang means wave. A mantra simply means a wave of the mind. So you're chanting a mantra anyways. Question is, what is the mantra you're chanting? It's, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Are you letting your mind to just produce anxiety thoughts? Well, that creates your neurological grooves, and that creates your habits. So mantra means wave of the mind, but what these are powerful sounds that essentially, if you use them regularly within the practice and also during the day if you'd wish, and I'm going to show you how to do that or why to do that as well, then you'll start to actually create better neurological grooves that produce more confidence, vitality, and clarity. Because most people are subconsciously running anxiety or depressing or anger-producing mantras in their psyche all day long. And that's the results we get, you know? We get very unhappy people. And so then we're using too many pharmaceuticals, we're using too many substances to try to self-medicate. And it's one thing to use certain things to have fun and socialize. It's another thing to be using them to cover up the real problems that I have. And so in that case, it's better to make the force of your happiness much stronger than the power of any of those things: anxiety, depression, unhappiness. And that's what Bright and Beautiful is all about. You'll feel beautiful, you feel happy, you feel radiant. That's the idea. If you do the practice, it won't work if you don't do it. You can't just buy it and then not do it. It won't work that way. But if you buy it and you do it, it will work profoundly for you. I believe that. So there's 4 modules of the course. When you get the course, you also get the bonus, which is you get a free tuition to our Life Force Formula immersion. I think it's the most amazing thing we do all year, every year. We have a couple hundred people that come to Northern California for a few days, and we do all this stuff together. Anyone can come, even if you're brand new. It's an incredible experience. We hope you can do you'll do the Bright and Beautiful first, but you can come either way, and you get free tuition. You have to pay your way out, and you just pay the food and lodging at the retreat center, which is very, very affordable. The food's amazing, the place is amazing, and you get free tuition to the Life Force Formula immersion just by signing up for this course. That in itself is worth more than the course. So that's our way of really, because we really want you to do this, and that's our way of trying to make this really irresistible for you. Okay? So you get all the 4 modules. You can download them if you don't want to rely on your internet connection. The teaching part of the course you have in both video and audio format, so that if you like to listen to some of it while you're out on the go, walking your dog, riding your bike, driving in the car, taking the kids to school, and you're able to get through more of the course that way. You have the audio files. It's super easy to use the course. You're going to get access to the question and answer classes that I've done, and you're going to essentially have a resource that once you get it, you can use it for the rest of your life. And once it's not like, oh, I took that class, I'm done with it. That you'll be able to come and revisit these and actually use the practices in the course as practices and meditations you want to do on a regular basis. And so it's really a resource that once you get it, you have lifetime access. And it's yours. It's an amazing resource that you're going to have. The regular price for the course is just $300, and that gets you all 4 modules plus the entrance into the immersion. Now, and like I said, the entrance to the tuition to the immersion is far more than $300 at its regular price. So that's awesome. But because we did this together, you're part of this webcast. And again, because we're doing everything we can to get you to join in this, because it helps us. We are extremely confident it'll help you. It's a win-win that if you get the course now as part of this webcast special, then you're gonna be able to get it for half off, and that's just $150. Also, we have a payment plan option. If you're not able to do the full $150 right now, there is a simple 3-payment payment plan where you pay $60, 3 payments of only $60. So you pay $60 today. That gives you full access to everything. Nothing is held back. And then you get the second payment 30 days later, and then the third payment of $60 30 days after that. But you get full access to the entire course right away. You get it now, you get all the modules, you get the Life Force Formula immersion, and you're getting it half off, $150. And then this is just for a very limited time if you join in now. All you have to do is click the button on this page here, and by the way, you got all this information that you can see about the webcast on this page here, and you can read up on it if you want more details. But if just click through here, it literally just takes a few moments to check out, to register. It's super easy. Even if you're not technologically efficient, we can say, you'll be able to do this. It's super, super duper easy, and we have an awesome team. If you have any questions or you need help, just email them and they get right back with you. When you get the course, and for any reason you decide, Actually, this isn't quite for me. All you have to do is email our team within 60 days after purchasing it. Let them know you want a refund. This isn't for me like I thought it was going to be. And they'll send you a full 100% refund. Super simple. But all you got to do to jump in, and I hope you will, is just click the button now. Like I said, this is special for all of our webcast attendees. Because you came, you did this class, you opened your mind, you opened your hearts, and like I said, we definitely want you to join the course. I feel very confident you will love the course. If you get it now, it's half price, plus the bonus, and the whole course. It's a super awesome deal. All the details are here, and so I hope you'll join in. And if for whatever reason you're not going to join in, I hope that this experience of this webcast, these exercises, these meditations were very useful to you and you got something great out of it. Thank you so much for joining me today and for opening your heart and giving this a try and just being the type of person who would do this type of stuff to increase the amount of love in your life. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful to experience this with you. So before we close out and sign off here, we're going to chant together to seal our class, and that's how we seal every Kundalini Yoga class. You're going to bring your hands into prayer pose, and we sing a song that's very beautiful. It's called The Long Time Sun. And we close this and we chant 3 long Satanams. Inhale deep. Exhale. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks so much.